Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2020 Design Philadelphia Kickoff Party. My name is Rebecca Johnson, and I'm the Executive Director of AI Philadelphia and the Center for Architecture and Design.
And I'm Jermaine Jenkins, the Director of Development and Strategic Partnerships for the Center for Architecture and Design.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are really excited to be here. We are at Clip Collective right now at Bach in their room 303 exhibition room. They do lots of cool stuff here. They've done some exhibitions for Design Philly, so we're very grateful to Rick for taking the time to help us shoot in a very cool space, so thank you. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and I'm just incredibly grateful that we made it. We're here. It's happening. I'm really grateful for that, and wouldn't be here without all of the designers and creatives and organizers who, fit us into their very, very busy Zoom schedule to figure out that they wanted to do something for Design Philadelphia and figure out how to do it virtually and make it engaging. So thank you to all of you. We have over 50 events this festival, which is incredible. So you're still going to have to choose. You're not going to be able to see everything. But we're really proud. We're really proud that we made it here. It has not been without loss. It's not been without sort of struggle. We've heard a lot of hard stories from some of our partners this year, and we've heard some really inspiring stories. So tonight is about hope, and tonight is about bringing us together, even though we can't physically do it. Believe me, I'd much rather be at Cherry Street Pier, looking at the bridge and enjoying seeing everyone, but here we are. We couldn't be here tonight without our sponsors, right? So thank you. I mean, the financial constraints on everyone this year is just sort of, you can't overstate it, right? It's been tough. So we're deeply grateful for the support this year. So thank you so much to Thomas Jefferson, who's our title sponsor once again, to Thomas Jefferson University, our title sponsor once again, Poor Richard's Charitable Trust. You enable us to do awesome stuff with collab every year, and we're really excited about this year's program. Thank you so much to Parallel Edge, who's once again sponsoring this kickoff party. Thank you so much, Sandra, and your team. Thank you to O'Donnell Nacarado, to Temple University Tyler School of Art, to Milber Macris, to AARP, to Herman Miller, Hayworth, Bressler Group, Felton Fat, and I got everybody? Look at that! I didn't even need the paper. We're really, really grateful. We also have two projects. I'm very thankful to be involved in a project that is funded by Pew Center for Arts and Heritage called Designing Motherhood. You'll see a little bit of that tonight. The bigger project debuts next year, but this is a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of an introduction. And also this year is 100 years of women having the right to vote. And clearly the right to vote is something that none of us, especially now, should take lightly. But it was certainly 100 years ago, it was not a step for everyone, right? It was not true equality for everybody. And so the exhibition, which is going to be virtual this year, highlights 4 projects that are advancing equality. And so we're really proud of that. So thank you to the National Endowment of Arts for supporting that project. I think that does it for me. Did I get everything? I mean, our, brains, we need paper, so sorry. But I'm going to turn it over to Jermaine. Here you go.
Thanks, Rebecca. I'm going to give this to you. I think I should be okay. I just want to echo what Rebecca just mentioned. Thank you to all of our sponsors. In addition to those people and companies, I want to also thank all of our design advocates, because in addition, we just really wouldn't be here without them. So thank you to all of our design advocates. This year, what we decided to do is sort of a cool, fun way of changing it up. Since we couldn't be together and there's really no party, we thought we still wanted to offer something to all of our attendees and people out there in Philadelphia who love Design Philadelphia. So what we did was we kind of created these really fun design curated boxes in partnership with Lobo Mal and also with Bernardo Margulies. Bernardo was kind of like the graphic design extraordinaire, so he kind of came up with all of the designs and also with the actual text on the t-shirts and tote bags as well. So make sure you check those out, and also cop one of the masks as well, and make sure you mask up during this time. Before I go, I want to also introduce our amazing host for tonight, Dominque Calhoun, who is a Philly girl. So she owns her own interior design firm located here in the city. So please check out her Instagram, Remix Living, and also just get ready for a really fun night with her because she'll keep us awake and keep us alive. So thanks, Dominque, for all of your support and for being a part of our event tonight. Thank you, everyone. Have fun.
Remember how it felt when you didn't know the limits and anything seemed possible? At Jefferson, we push beyond limitation. We make the seemingly impossible possible. As students, we can design a collection that will change the course of fashion, or plan a city that can redesign itself and give light the power to transform. We can carry the weight of a 12-ton idea, 18 stories tall, propel athletes across the goal line on one leg and a custom traction cleat, and cross finish lines in a seamless second skin. We can turn style into something timeless and stand the test of trend. We can invent new forms of expression to move markets, merchandise, and mindsets that shape the future of work. Remember how it felt when anything seemed possible?
Hi, this is Sandra from Parallel Edge, coming to you from my office. For those of you who don't know us, we're an IT firm based in Philadelphia, supporting everyone in the creative design community. This year, we're again proud to be sponsoring the kickoff party for Design Philadelphia. I wish we could do this in person because we had a ton of fun last year at the Cherry Street Pier, playing VR games and sponsoring the lounge. Hopefully we can do this all again next year in person. Until then, cheers and enjoy Design Philadelphia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dominque Calhoun, Principal Designer with Remix Living, a boutique interior design firm and showroom located here in Philadelphia. Starting my firm roughly in about 2015, I saw the need for affordable design services and professional design assistance within my community. Here at Remix Living, we believe that everyone should have access to amazing design and their vision of a well-designed space based on their lifestyle and what feels functional to them. Offering a variety of design services, our firm allows the client to ultimately decide how they want to work with us against their desired budgets. With a primary focus in both residential and commercial design, our firm has serviced clients throughout this tri-state and beyond. With our newly renovated design showroom, we wanted to extend a curated shopping experience in the home and retail space, allowing customers who can't afford design services to also have the option to shop through a designer's eye by giving them access to vendors we frequently use in design projects. We are passionate about putting our clients first, and that rule applies to our DIY clients, our celebrity clientele, and customers who shop our design studio. I am so excited to be here tonight to host the 16th annual Design Philadelphia Kickoff Party. Even though we are virtually, we are still going to have an amazing time. We have 2 live sessions this evening, along with some fun teasers for programs happening during the festival. You'll hear from many of our Design in Philly roll call segments. We'll learn a bit about the future of design, education here in Philadelphia in design, and we'll get an insider tour to Amuneal's warehouse and NYC showroom. In the middle of it all, we're going to stop and have a cocktail with our friends at the brand new, beautifully designed Wayward Restaurant and Bar inside the Canopy Hotel. To prepare yourself for the cocktail making experience, make sure you have these ingredients ready to go so you can make yourself a delicious drink too. Let's get started. Our first live segment is a very important one. It's about the community of design and how community-led and engaged design can advance racial equality in our city and cities across our country. I am very interested to hear what these folks have to say, and it is my pleasure to introduce the new executive director of the Community Design Collaborative here in Philadelphia, Taya Nguyen. Taya, congratulations on your new role in this incredible organization. And with Taya, we're lucky to have the Commissioner of Planning and Development in the City of Chicago, Maurice D. Cox, and Councilmember Jamie Gauthier. Welcome to you all.
Good evening, Philly, and thanks for joining us online for Design Philadelphia. My name is Taya Nguyen, and I'm a board member of the Center for Architecture and Design and the incoming executive director of the Community Design Collaborative. I'm grateful to be here tonight with two of my personal idols, one of our newest councilwomen representing the 3rd District in West Philadelphia, Jamie Gauthier, and Commissioner Maurice Cox, who is Planning Director for the City of Chicago. Tonight, we're planning to have a conversation about how community-engaged and led design will advance racial equity. As designers, the products of the built environment, the what we design, is at the heart of what we do. This year has highlighted that the majority of times, the how, the process of a project design and construction does not advance equality for people of color. In fact, it typically exacerbates those inequalities. For Maurice and Jamie, welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
And my first question is, both of you must work to combine your planning expertise and politics in effort to improve the quality of life for everyday people. Can you outline examples of design and engagement process that advances equality and justice for community versus what are experience or processes that don't?
Jamie, I'm going to let you go first.
Sure, thank you. I would say, I've had the pleasure of seeing more processes that do not advance equity than ones that do. I think we have really low expectations in this area as a sector, and we kind of accept the view that there's only so much that we can ask for, and that the project always has to come first, right, before people's ability to be engaged and have meaningful input. I think, our measure of success for a long time has been, did we ask people what they wanted, and how much of what they wanted are we giving to them? But I don't think that that's a sort of an approach that is truly successful, because it keeps this power imbalance and still operates, with the assumption that, our mostly white professional sector has the final expertise and the final say. And so I think we're starting to have a new reckoning and realizing that design processes that value equity and justice go the extra mile to solicit the voices of people who are the hardest to reach, celebrates the strength and culture of a place instead of talking about revitalizing or placemaking, and works to advance what should be our ultimate goal as a sector, which is creating a more equitable future. I think one of the best planning processes that I've ever been involved in took place in Strawberry Mansion when I was actually at the Fairmount Park Conservancy. We were working with the community to activate the Hatfield House, which is a historic house in the park. And not only did we pay people for their involvement, we completely let them create from start to finish what they wanted to see in the space. I'm sorry. And what would be most meaningful to them. And so we went from having this historic house, which was more of a relic and something that no one interacted with, to this space where we were having barbecues and auctions of people, in the neighborhood, and featuring youth and a fashion show. And I think that's what good planning is all about. It's about equity, it's about respect, and it's about centering the people with lived experiences instead of the professionals, or the so-called professionals.
Extremely well said. I think it starts by having leaders who believe, quite frankly, that development can be equitable, and that growth can happen in neighborhoods, and it can happen in an inclusive way. Because you ultimately need people in positions of leadership like Jamie or my own, who want to honor the lived experience of people in those communities that you are trying to plan with. And there's a South African saying that I carry with me, and it's a very high bar, but it says nothing without us, nothing about us without us is for us. And so it requires you to have not just engagement, but deep engagement, and allow people to bring their lived experience to the table and surround them with the technical assistance that often communities need to interpret their vision into something visible and tangible. And I think that's where having access to professionals that look like the community they're trying to serve is so important. And so what we have done, what I'm doing currently in Chicago, is directing the resources of government to the south side and the west side, which are in Chicago, the communities that are historically African American and Latino, and bringing those resources to leverage other resources. So it's not a public handout. It's not a safety net. It is, there are public dollars that try to attract private dollars And those private dollars must reflect the community that they're trying to invest in. And simply making this a criteria and then working with residents to take them through the process and have a continual feedback loop so that they can not only be at the table, but shape the menu, if you will.
I think that's important. I think something I heard both of you really say is that you center your perspective on the people. And I think that's really, really important, both as designers, I think in both of your roles, to kind of center it on people. Neither of you are stranger to controversy. I think you guys both are known to get into places and like shake things up a bit with your direction and your leadership, which is great. I've always admired it. What is it that you think is your personal responsibility in these situations, in sort of leading the charge and inspiring others to kind of follow suit with, what we like to call good trouble now?
Jamie?
I think it's my responsibility to make sure that I am centering the voices and amplifying the voices of people who traditionally have not had as much power as folks who have more money, more access, and more means of traditional power. And so what I mean by that is, for example, in my role, I come across developers, or they come across me several times a week, right? I'll have developers coming to me and they, want some type of approval. They want my buy-in on projects, mostly housing projects that they would like to bring to the 3rd district. And I'm consistently having to push back on on the way that they're doing engagement, on the way that they're coming to the community and allowing the community to offer input, on pushing them to take longer to do their engagement and to doing it in a way that really respects people and values their perspective. And I'm always having to push back on affordability, like constantly. And so another role that I consistently play in my as a council member is facilitating communication between communities and developers, and making sure that developers realize that they are guests here and that they have to listen to and respect residents. And so from my everyday role, activities as a council member as it relates to projects, to the legislation that I put forward, I think my role is to make sure I'm centering the people who are often not heard and who are the ones who are harmed most by the changes happening in our neighborhoods.
Yeah. So I would say one of the things that I'm constantly addressing is people's expectations of what they deserve. I think we have to constantly raise people's expectations that their communities are of value, and to not settle for less than excellence. And so everyone who comes into that community, they had better bring their A game, and they had better acknowledge the incredible assets that exist. They are physical assets, they're human resource assets, there are networks. So I always think about the communities that I work in, which are Black and Latino communities, as having many assets. It's not a deficit-filled place. And many community members who have stayed in those communities for years, they recognize that. And I have to constantly remind people of the value that is embedded in these communities, and they only deserve the best. So raising expectations that, this is not a make-do environment. This is not a place that gets scraps. These are communities that have a high sense of their own value. And I want that anyone working in those contexts to acknowledge it and appreciate it. The other thing that I think is really key is the goal should be to create local wealth and retain that wealth locally. So in the end, it's kind of about ownership. And if it's not you owning it, you have a piece of it, and that those who do own it are of that community. And I think that's a high bar, and very often it's through partnership. But if you just talk about ownership, if you just talk about creating wealth in existing organizations, I think you will find that you're digging deep into roots that those communities have and capacities that those communities have. So those are the two things, raising the bar on what is excellent and having an eye towards creating local wealth.
Yeah, you guys have both, again, mentioned this idea of the design process, right? It's this thing that's elusive to the everyday person. I think it's time consuming, it's confusing, it's full of bureaucracy and red tape, which I know both of you have to deal with every day at work. So you're no stranger to it. But this makes me think of the idea of self-determination and agency, right? And so most of our viewers tonight, they're at home, they're on their couch, or they're in their kitchen with their families, and they're listening to us kind of as the experts in the design field, talk to them about their lived experience. What advice do you have for everyday citizens? We're talking about these Black and brown communities that both of you kind of are working in, right? What can they do to hold the designers accountable? How do they hold us accountable? To make sure that, like you said, we do raise the bar and that they do find a way to demand that excellence that they're going to have to stay in, right? Because once we leave, they remain in these communities with whatever we've built or designed or planned.
My advice is to get involved, to be incredibly vocal, and to push. I think grassroots organizations like civic associations, park friends groups, and other grassroots expressing, your opinion are really, really valuable in neighborhood development. And even when it seems insurmountable, I think people power is a real thing. There is a development that was slated to happen here in my neighborhood, and the developers were trying to build, I believe it's a 33-unit building on a flag lot that was essentially in people's alleys, right? And they had, because the zoning wasn't changed, they could build what they wanted to build by right. The community did some masterful organizing. I mean, they brought so many people together. They were emailing, public officials, including me. They were lobbying us hard. And you know what? Even though the developer could do what they wanted by right, they did not get their license approved. And so I believe in people power, and I believe in people power even when the task seems really big. And so I encourage folks to organize.
Yeah, I mean, participation matters. Showing up matters. And I know we've all been to those community meetings in the evening after work, showing up on Saturday to lend your voice to ultimately what is a collective decision that has to be made. And so while, yes, you may feel that your voice is only one voice, but your voice next to the next person's voice, next to your neighbor's voice, next to their voice, you start to have critical mass, and the volume gets amplified. And so that's just the way we work in a democracy. If we're trying to advocate for the collective and get beyond our individual interests, we have to meet up. We have to meet up with people of like mind, and we have to be mindful of those who have a different opinion. And so I always, even though sometimes it gets hot in these meetings, people get really passionate, I'm just so glad they're there and they are allowing their voice to be heard. And it is up to those who are seeking to serve those communities to be interpreters to look for those kernels of knowledge, those lucid moments, that kind of streetwise wisdom that then, others can take and try to offer a solution or an interpretation of what someone might say. And I can't tell you how often I've been in a community meeting and there will be a longtime resident who has the most visionary idea, and they can articulate it in words, and that those words are kind of given life. So, participation really, really matters. Your voice really matters, and just that returning to it, it's a reiterative process, is critical to make progress on these design ideas.
No, absolutely. I wholeheartedly concur. And a reminder to all of you at home, we've got 30 days left until the election. There's no better way to make your voice heard. Make sure you're registered. Make sure you show up. You can register. You can vote in person. You can vote early. You can vote by mail. But whatever you do, however you do it, make sure you do it. It's really important this year. Looking at both of the cities that you guys work in, Chicago, my hometown, so shout out to all of you in Chicago, and Philadelphia, my new home. These are both cities with a really, really rich cultural heritage, right? And we've been looking at, protesters in the streets kind of demanding that their voice be heard, demanding change over this year. What will our cities look like when we center and prioritize Black and Brown neighborhoods, cultural assets, and space?
I think that's a really important and critical question right now. Because our cities are suffering right now. Our cities are struggling right now. So as an example, 52nd Street in my district, which is a historic commercial corridor here in West Philadelphia, has long been a center for Black commerce and culture. But it has been hit with the shutdown, the economic recession, and civil unrest, right? And so it's vulnerable. And so my biggest priority right now is making sure that we keep 52nd Street intact as a center for Black folks, right? And so I think we need to, one, make sure we're developing a vision that really respects the people who live here and who have traditionally lived here. I think, secondly, we're going to have to do more to control at least some of the real estate. My area has a lot of real estate speculation from people who don't even live here and may not even know the vision of the community. So I'm really focused on making sure we bring all of the true stakeholders to the table and really help them to outline and to some degree influence strongly the development of the area.
Yeah, I mean, part of my job is to acknowledge and respect the incredible resiliency of our communities. After some of the looting and buildings were being boarded up, I actually went to visit these small business owners, and I found a desire to open up again. I found the resiliency there that was surprising, and these are businesses that have been there for years, and they're not going to go anywhere. So my job is to get them the resources they need so that they can prosper in this kind of post-COVID period, and not take away the joy of public space making and doing something special. So we did a pop-up boardwalk that expanded the public realm on a street that had a collection of restaurants. We did it within a 10-week period, but all of those businesses were able to continue to serve their patrons outdoors. And at the same time, it was joyful. It had never happened, this kind of outdoor dining experience. So it wasn't just about survival. It was also about finding some joy and improving the community through this crisis. And so we are continuing to take this notion that design can add something extra. It's not just survival. It's about celebration. It's about joy. It's about something more. And it was deeply appreciated. It wasn't a handout. It wasn't a survival kit. It was something that genuinely just improved everyone's life and gave them something to talk about and to be proud of. And I really feel that that's a part of what we're looking for, not just to make do, but to be aspirational and acknowledge the inherent value of these communities that we work in.
That's great. And I think we're running out of time. So I would like to thank both of you for taking time out of your evening to join us here as we kick off Design Philadelphia for 2020. And in closing, I want to ask you both to just share really quickly, what's one quick phrase that you would use to explain how design is going to change all of our cities for the better?
I think design going forward is going to be revolutionary.
I just want to remind people through design, you can shape your world. You can shape your world.
And that's great. And so thank you, Philadelphia, for joining us. Thank you both for joining me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for all that you've done for the communities that you've worked in. You guys are rock stars. And I appreciate you coming out tonight. Have a good evening.
Bye. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Kaya, Amy, and Maurice. That was an amazing conversation. It is really important for us as designers to think about how through our work, we can be removing injustice and inequality as much as we can. I think with continued conversations like we just had today and our community speaking up, that definitely can be done. So next, we are preparing for one of this year's signature programs, Introducing Designing Motherhood, a conversation with curators and thought leaders on design for the arc of human reproduction. Designing Motherhood is a project led by the Maternally Care Coalition with partnership with the Mutter Museum and the Center for Architect and Design. The project is curated by Michelle Fisher and Amber Winnick. Getting pregnant, being pregnant, giving birth, and raising a newborn, all of these phases are a part of design. Be sure to check out their presentation next Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Of course, you want to make sure you check it out after the kids go to bed. This will be an amazing conversation you don't want to miss. We'll then check in with our Design Philly roll call segment. We ask all of you to submit short videos asking what you are hopeful for and how we can help solve some of the problems we are all facing with design. So let's check them out.
I'm on the steering committee for Design Philadelphia. I'm also on the board of Collab at the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and I run an Instagram called Descent by Design along with another Philadelphian, Caroline Tiger, and we look at the intersection of design with social movements and protest. I believe that design has the power to change the world, and I look forward to doing that along with all of you.
Hi, Design Philadelphia friends. This is Nicole Carville from Hayward, coming to you from our beautiful showroom at 17th and Market. Well, what to say about 2020? Certainly has given us time to pause, time to reflect and think about what's really important. And there is no doubt that we know we need to take care of each other and take care of our planet. And who better than to lead the charge than our design community? So all the best to Design Philadelphia Festival 2020. So proud to be a sponsor and a partner with you.
Hi, I'm Faizan.
Hello, my name's Kevin.
Hi, I'm Devin Givner.
Hi, I'm Vicky Reese-Jones.
Hi, my name is Uchenna O'Kara.
I'm a BIM specialist at Revit Gods.
And I'm a business development specialist at Revit Gods.
And I'm a Revit specialist at Revit Gods.
And I'm an MEP coordinator at Revit Gods.
And I am the founder and CEO of Revit Gods. This is easy, especially because of how different our president is. For the first time in decades, families are together again in the same live-work environments. We need designers to help us craft better spaces that'll help us love and support each other within this new normal that we're now in. I'm very hopeful about a future where everyone gets a chance to do what they love around people that they actually care about.
Hi everyone, my name is Sylvie Gauthier Howard. I'm the Acting Director of Commerce for the City of Philadelphia, and I'm proud to have been part of the Advisory Board for Design Philadelphia last year. When it comes to what brings me hope and what element I think design and designers can play moving forward, I think with all of the rethinking and reimagining we've had to do in terms of outdoor dining and how to use plexiglass and barriers and things like that to make indoor dining and other forms of indoor recreation and retail be safe, there's a real design element that can go into play and ensure that we continue to have really welcoming and cool spaces that encourage consumers to support small businesses and to dine out and hopefully dine out throughout the fall. So I'm excited about Design Philadelphia, and I think that there are a lot of reasons to stay optimistic and expect that this is actually going to have a silver lining and bring us more opportunities in the future.
Hi, I'm Alexa Bassi. I am the founder and principal at Hinge Collective, a mission-based design firm based here in Philadelphia that focuses on creating excellent public spaces for all neighborhoods. 2020 has seen a multitude of challenges, but also calls to action for the design profession. I'm hopeful about this trend towards self-reflection around the systemic racism and the complicit role that the design profession has played. I'm hopeful that there's a greater sense of openness to change the course in which we practice, to change the way that we measure success, and also that there's a greater effort to make room for Black voices in design. Designers can contribute to a better future by being proactive. We need to be fervent advocates for the linked issues of racial justice and climate change. See, as a profession, we have the power to steer how environments are built and how humans interact in the spaces that are created. So we need to lead by example by making inclusive design part of standard practice. We need to make sure that all of the work that we're doing is contributing to restoring the natural systems and ecosystem balance. And we need to recenter that power back onto the communities that we serve and the people that are most impacted by design.
Hi, my name is Denise Thompson. I'm the Vice Chair on the Board of Directors for the Center for Architecture and Design and a Principal at FCA, Francis Kaufman Architects. This year has brought about many challenges, but one of the positive side effects of otherwise negative events has been the opportunity to open up a new dialogue about diversity, inclusion, and belonging in the design professions. This has been a long overdue awakening that we need to no longer ignore and need to put to the forefront of our discussions. I believe that we have a lot of work to do to truly provide the authentic work environment that our BIPOC colleagues deserve. But by working openly and honestly together, I know that we can make our profession stronger, and therefore resulting in better design solutions for the diverse populations that we serve.
Hello, I'm Don Jones, Principal at Ewing Cole Architects and Engineers in Philadelphia, former President of AIA of Philadelphia, and also currently serving on the Finance Committee of the chapter and the Ed Bacon Committee, sponsoring a student competition. I know this has been a tough year for all of you. Certainly, it's been different, working from home and from remotely. And I just want to invite you to Design Philadelphia, and I hope you enjoy your time with us. Design Philadelphia is a premier design event in the city, and we hope you can participate. So thank you for your support, and we'll see you there.
Hi, Amy Reese from Exit Design. We're an experiential graphic design studio in Northern Liberties. I'm really hopeful about the future and how design will really work to impact solutions to today's complex social problems.
Hey everyone, it's Lauren Robin from Made Institute. If you're not familiar with Made, we're Philadelphia's first independent fashion design school. We teach our students everything from the fundamentals of sewing to what it takes to have a small brand.
Whether you're an aspiring designer trying to get started in the fashion industry or you want to learn how to sell your designs, we have a class for you. We also have a lot of online courses to help you get moving in the fashion industry. Check out our website or Instagram to learn more.
The waste that mass manufacturing of large brands creates has been especially brought to light this year. Our hope is to continue to teach our students the skills that they need and give them the resources to create more small brands and sustainable collections.
We continue to teach our students how to make conscious design choices, introducing them to the world of circular fashion and the beauty of small batch and micro manufacturing. The fashion industry is changing, and we believe we're heading in the right direction.
We look forward to playing a role to help the artists and makers that Design Philadelphia supports each year.
Good morning. My name is Ian Smith of Ian Smith Design Group. So first question, what do I hope for in 2020 due to the changes that we've been going through? I think the most that I could hope for is that true empathy is at least experienced. We can start to put our feet in other people's shoes and think about what they're going through, what kind of difficulties they may have, and how we can maybe help them move forward. Number two, I guess, how does design or designers, how can they help in the future? I think this, for me, is a difficult question because in some ways I don't know if design can, in the same sense that I already know it can, but I don't know if I really think it can in some capacity because, it's really action. And I think sometimes we get confused as to what design is and what design means. I think design is everything.
Wow, those were some amazing videos. I cannot wait to see more of our roll call check-ins. And the Designing Motherhood program looks like something that myself or you don't want to miss. I think it's time for a drink. What do you think? I know I have my drink made. Let's see what our friends over at the Wayward Restaurant and Bar are mixing up for us. After we refresh with our drinks, let's take another look at the Design in Philly roll call segment.
As we enter the Canopy by Hilton Philadelphia, you'll see a lot of our design influence is inspired by the turn of the century, the 20th century luxury department stores. So a lot of the design elements that we have are influenced by that time period. The entire display cases behind our welcome table have been curated by Kate Egan of Egan Day. She has a boutique in the Rittenhouse Hotel, as well as online and a store in Miami. More nods to the retail. We have a display with all these luxury bags and cases that represent the hotel, as well well as the department stores in the area. So I think one of the coolest things about the space is the depth of the design, how thoughtful each piece is, and that everything has its own story.
Hi, afternoon, everybody. My name's Sid Soloff. I'm one of the bartenders here at the Wayward Hotel Restaurant. I'd like to welcome you to our gin lounge. I'm going to turn around a little bit just to show you that we do have one of the Philly's largest selections of gins from around the world. Our cocktail list is based off of riffs of French 75s. So what we're doing today is one of our well-known riffs on French 75 is going to be the Sweet D. These ingredients come together to really put together a flavorful profile that takes you in right from the summer into the fall. We're going to present the main spirit today, which will be gin, which is going to be our Hayman's Old Tom Gin. And the reason why we're using this Hayman's comes from the 18th century, which is from the original family who produced the Old Tom's Gin. So it's great to have one of the original recipes here. Second ingredient which we're going to use is our fresh simple syrup, which we make in-house, which is going to be 1-to-1. Then we juice every day our pink grapefruit juice, Angostura bitters, and then fresh mint to top this cocktail off. Pour yourself a glass of wine, make a classic cocktail or a mocktail. Cheers to Design Philadelphia from the Wayward.
Carlos. Soy Program Manager para el Trust for Public Land y miembro de la Junta de Gobierno del Center for Architecture and Design. A nombre de la Junta queremos darle la bienvenida a nuestro Kickoff Party virtual de Design Philadelphia y esperemos que toda la programación que han hecho, que se ha preparado para estas próximas 2 semanas sean de su disfrute y que puedan conocer más sobre la labor que nosotros como centro hacemos dentro de nuestras comunidades en Filadelfia, tanto con los eventos de Design Philadelphia como el programa de la educación en arquitectura. Y si quieren conocer más sobre nosotros, por favor síganos en las redes sociales y pendiente a todas las actividades que hay estas próximas 2 semanas.
Adiós. Hello, I'm Andy McDonald, Principal Designer at ID in Philly, part of Capgemini and Vet. You might remember us as Electronic Ink. I'm hopeful and thankful for the opportunity to continue to help clients and colleagues around the world during this tough time. However, the pandemic has forced us, like others, to find new ways to collaborate remotely, not only with regional colleagues, but locally as well. We see this as an opportunity to experiment with flexible work schedules and try out new tools. I see designers doing whatever we can to help make an impact, whether that's making personal protective equipment, raising awareness on issues, or helping to find new ways of working. I see design teams thinking about inclusivity and accessibility like never before. The past 6 months have been challenging, but we truly believe we will come out of the pandemic stronger. Thank you, Design Philadelphia, for the opportunity to contribute to the event this year.
Hi, I'm Rachel from Nemo Tile and Stone.
Hey guys, I'm Priscilla with Nemo Tile and Stone.
Hi there, it's Carol from Nemo Tile and Stone. We're here in Old City.
We are hopeful to be part of inspiring everyone on the possibilities of designing with tile.
We can't wait to see you here.
Hi, Philly Design. This is Nate from Dalton Fat. Welcome to our space. 2020 has been a really rough year for a lot of people, and it's been a roller coaster for us. But I take a lot of comfort in the team we've built and the fact that we're still making ceramics for a living after all of this. I believe good design comes from stripping away everything but the essentials and then building something new from there, something your own. This year has been stripping away the essentials for a lot of people. And I think it's incumbent on us to think about that next step in the design process, how we rebuild, how we do that equitably and accessibly. On our part, we've been thinking about the space we're in here in the city. We work up here in Kensington in the middle of the opioid crisis with a lot of homeless, a lot of people out of work. And so coming back to work when we had to hire new people, we decided to team up with Baker Industries. That's a company that finds employment for the hard-to-employ, so formerly incarcerated, people out of rehab, things like that. It's been a great journey for us. We brought on some great individuals, loving the work we're doing here, and feeling good that we're able to redesign and rethink how we work. That's been a great challenge for us, but I think good design is challenging. I hope that everyone else is thinking a lot about how they're rebuilding themselves, their communities, and their working environments. Looking forward to seeing what everyone else does in this time and how we all grow forward from here. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Caitlin with the Association for Public Art, and I'm here at Fingerspan by artist Jody Pinto, located along the Wissahickon Creek. Artists are innovators, and we're excited to see how they use technology or different materials. Like how Jody Pinto used perforated steel in this structure, or how Nancy Baker Cahill uses augmented reality in her project Liberty Bell, currently on view in Philadelphia. Join us on October 13th to hear her talk about public art, activism, and augmented reality.
My name is Hilda Bacon, and I am sending out my sincere thanks to the Center for Architecture and Design and the Ed Bacon Memorial Committee for more than 15 years of presenting and producing the Ed Bacon Urban Design Awards and Student Competition, and for helping keep my father's legacy alive in his beloved Philadelphia.
And I'm the creative director at Shift Space, which is an architecture and industrial design studio, normally located in Brewerytown, but currently scattered around the city virtually. And I think one of the things I'm hopeful for going into 2021 is just the renewed focus and thinking about the impact of design and at a kind of global and local level.
Hi, my name is Bill McDowell. And as we're all aware, the architecture and design communities are very susceptible to economic downturns, particularly in regard to the pandemic. We've survived these downturns in the past, and we're going to survive this one, and we'll come out even stronger. I think we can all recognize that our built environment is more important to our health than ever before. So please think of the design community as we move forward. We're here to help. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Brendan Tomasetti,
co-owner of Guild House Hotel at 1307 Locust Street. This project is an amazing opportunity for our team, a chance to partner with local experts to develop a boutique hotel in Center City, Philadelphia, inside a national historic landmark. In addition to restoring and preserving many of the architectural elements of the property, this has become an even greater opportunity to shine a light on some remarkable female Philadelphians of our past. We can't wait to share it with you.
Welcome back, everyone. Is everyone feeling good? Because I know I am. Let's keep it moving. What else is going on during the festival? I'm not sure if you guys know, but this is an election year, and we have a major election coming up in a few weeks. In addition to it being an election year, 2020 is the 10th anniversary of women securing the right to vote through the 19th Amendment. This was a historic victory for women in the United States, and it was a significant step towards equality. But it was just a step. It didn't get all of us to where we needed to be, not until the Voting Rights Act of 1965, where many of people of color were able to safely vote. This right is a fundamental right in our democracy and is fundamental in our journey towards equality. Make sure you use your voice and head to the polls on November 3rd. It's a must. This year, Design Philadelphia has a signature and it's Designs for Advancing Equality. This exhibition will launch Monday, October the 12th. It's a virtual exhibition with a full website and physical poster series at locations all over the city. Some very interactive Instagram filters will be made as well, so keep an eye out on Design Philadelphia's Instagram. The exhibition was funded by the National Endowment of the Arts and highlights 4 designers who have projects that are advancing equality. Let's check out the exhibition preview now. Nice. And next up, we have an insider look at the Amuneal's history, warehouse in Philadelphia and showroom in New York, where they make tons of beautiful things. Amuneal supports bespoke custom projects in their initial design development and engineering through fabrication and final installation. In addition to these custom fabricated projects, the Custom Fabrication Division offers a growing selection of Amuneal Design standard semi-custom products for high-end residential and commercial markets. Since their founding, they have grown from a single product business to multiple divisions, serving a broad audience ranging from scientists to engineers, architects, and of course designers. Every year, the Collab Board of Philadelphia Museum of Art partners with Design Philadelphia to honor and host a talk with noteworthy Philadelphia designers. This year, Amuneal will be sharing their design optimism, a 55-year case study, on Saturday, October 17th at 3 p.m. Usually, this event sells out, but this year, it's free. In a digital world, we love free, even though it's previously free. The more, the merrier. Be sure to tell your friends and register for CEO Adam Kamen's talk at DesignPhiladelphia.org. Let's go on a virtual tour with Amuneal's warehouse here in Philadelphia and NYC.
We've been on this journey for 20 years now, where focus and recognition of design has really influenced almost every decision that we've made. Originally, we just wanted to be part of the process. We wanted to work with designers, we wanted to work with people to help them recognize their vision, make it tangible for them. Going through that process was really like a graduate degree for us. We learned about architects, designers, fashion vanguards, artists, got inspired by found objects, historic elements, music, and really by our clients. That whole process informed our aesthetic, led us back to the same place we kept ultimately coming to. This place where sort of materials and details and finishes intersected in a way that felt authentic to us. We always felt like we could help take something and make it better for somebody. Take their concept and really let them be selfish, let them ask for everything, and we figure out a way to deliver it. And today we bring that same thing to clients that don't know what they want necessarily, and they give us this blank slate and allow us to create, allow these designs and these projects to evolve and grow, and the relationships tend to grow with it. We're super fortunate we have this incredible facility, hundreds of people that were drawn to a place where we make things every day. And we're almost assured that no two things will ever be the same. The thing that's amazing in that space is that with the talent, with the artists, the frustrated architects, the designers, these incredible artisans and fabricators, you sort of get reminded every day that anything is possible, that you can figure out any problem. Getting to open the showroom in New York has been almost surreal, because quite frankly, we never get to see our pieces, our designs, in a place that still feels like it's ours, right? We're always launching these products and making things and sending them off to somebody else's space, to their home, their office, their environment where they're going to live and interact with them. So having a place where we can close the doors and walk around and see the pieces and touch them and really understand them has been a gift. When we meet people today and they're like, oh, I've seen these before, but I never remember who made them. Or people who come in and they can't pronounce the company's name, but they know all of our products. Or sometimes, when we meet people and they come into the showroom and we find out they already have our work, and they just feel fortunate to make this personal connection. It's really feels like we've come full circle. It's been tremendous for us. We really do love being part of Philly's creative community. Philly's a town that's supportive in an unexpected way. A small percentage of our work lives in Philadelphia, but the ones that do the projects we've done are the ones that took the biggest risk on us in the beginning. And also just being in Philadelphia has allowed us to take risks, to grow, find this incredible talent pool, and to collaborate with fellow, sort of like-minded designers and artists. And I think collaboration and the idea of design as a verb is something that's very much the heart of Philadelphia.
Such beautiful stuff. That was amazing, and we didn't even have to deal with the train ride up to New York. Next up, we have our second live session of the evening, a brief teaser for their Design Philly program next week. Designing during a pandemic has been challenging for everyone, and we all have had to innovate a bridge between this new virtual divide. In our next segment, we are being joined by a panel of students and educators from Thomas Jefferson University. Moderating this panel are Dr. Morgan Hutchinson and Dr. Matthew Fields. Both are emergency medicine physicians and directors of the Jefferson Health Design Lab. They will be speaking with 3 students representing 3 multidisciplinary design teams who were challenged to design solutions to real healthcare problems in the midst of this pandemic. As a part of the JeffSolves Med Team Incubator Program. First up, we'll get a preview of Jefferson's fashion design program and then head over to Dr. Hutchins and Dr. Fields.
Hey, and I'm Matt Fields, and I'm excited to be here. And I'm going to share some slides real quick. That's right. And as part of that mission, we run a program every summer called JeffSolves, and we're excited to share with you some of the very cool and cutting edge projects that have come out of our program. This is the Design Lab in 1925 Chestnut, where we hang out in the basement in this cool vault. I can't hear anything. Sorry, I can't hear anything, so I don't know what's going on. Is Morgan talking? Should I keep going? Should I keep talking? Okay, guys, sorry about the technical difficulties. All right, so what is JeffSolves? JeffSolves is a program that follows a simple formula. Well, maybe it doesn't look too simple here, but it's ultimately collaborative design. So first we take our traditional SKMC medical students and our industrial design students from Jefferson, East Falls, and we bring them together to make a one-of-a-kind, very unique, multidisciplinary team of students. Then we merge them with clinicians, either from Jefferson or from outside Jefferson, who have an unmet need, where they are introduced into a clinical problem space, a very unique thing for students to be able to come into, where they can then see the space and see healthcare in real time and get to know the stakeholders, the patients, the nurses, the physicians, the physical therapists, the dietitians, everybody involved with the healthcare, and including the patients and the families themselves. And then they start to understand problems and really understand what problems they need to solve. They bring that together with mentorship. We bring them together with mentors from our own health design lab, from industrial design, specifically Ted Corlett and Eric Schneider are huge contributors to this program, the ones that make it happen. They're also combined with our product development partner, the Breslau Group, who helps give them a framework and a strategy from taking this problem space to defining the problem to learning how to collaboratively design and prototype and take things through from the beginning to the end to develop a product. And finally, we bring in leadership from the Jefferson Innovation Pillar, who provide oversight and give input along the way, but really provide the resources and the tool to make it all happen. And what do you get when you put that equation together? You get amazing and unique outcomes. Outcomes like these unique products you see here in the top left, Circlex, a circadian-friendly lighting company designed to meet the needs of overnight care providers. Or in the top middle, Ventilaire, a smart connected monitor device that measures the balloon pressure of endotracheal tubes. Or Soraya in the top right, a unique applicator of medicated shampoo that helps really get the medication into the scalp where it needs to act. In the bottom left, we have Respiro, a device that actually is the first of its kind to prevent escape of anesthetic gases into the operating room where it can affect healthcare workers. In the bottom middle, we have Aliflex, which is a unique design that helps patients suffering from a rare problem called hidradenitis suppurativa. Or in the bottom right, we have this tilt table here, which is actually used to perform pelvic exams and may be able to revolutionize the way we can do pelvic exams and cut down on costs by preventing the need from very expensive pelvic stretchers. And so these are just some examples over the years of what our students have come up with. And they're truly innovative and groundbreaking, but the product of a lot of different people and teams coming together to collaborate and design together. So typically, this is what our design lab would look like. We would have people working together, sharing, and collaborating in real time, in person, and hands-on. But this year, unfortunately, we had a pandemic. And so our students looked more something like this, where they were on Zoom together. But I'm happy to say that the students this year have done an amazing job. And so I'm excited to introduce them. These are some of the members of our program team, our program collaborators. I mentioned some of this. We have our contributors from SKMC and our clinical mentors. And these are our student teams. So, and today we have a member from each of these teams. We have from the pediatric orthopedics team, Nash Vedamparty. From the team Mom and Baby, we have Catherine Summer. And from our anesthesia team, we have Stephanie Szymanski. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. I don't know how to stop sharing my screen.
Hi, everyone. While Matt's working on that, my name is Nash Vedanaparty. I'm a second-year medical student at Jefferson, and yeah, I'm part of the Peds Ortho team, and I'm really excited to be here to talk with you guys today.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Szymanski, and I am a first-year graduate industrial design student at Jefferson University, and I am part of the JeffSolves anesthesia team. Thanks for having us tonight.
And hi, I'm Catherine. I'm also a second-year medical student at Jefferson, and I'm part of the mom and baby team, and also very excited to be here. So thank you so much for having us.
All right, great, guys. And Morgan, are you back with us? All right, so we're still trying to get Morgan connected. Okay, so wonderful to have you guys here. You guys did a tremendous job this year, and we are really excited to see what you came up with. But unfortunately, we're not going to get to see that just yet. I know we have to save that for a little bit later, but I do want to talk to you guys.
Thank you so much.
So first off, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. So Stephanie, first with you, why did you decide to do JeffSolves?
So Matt, before transitioning to industrial design, I actually worked in a clinical research space. And while I was there, I was struck by the sheer number of products and systems that I felt, while well-intentioned, had lots of room for improvement in terms of providing a more comfortable or maybe a more enjoyable or a more efficient experience for patients, clinicians, and hospital systems alike. And so the JeffSolves program seemed like the perfect opportunity for me to not only get my feet wet in this space, but to do so while addressing relevant real-world problems faced by patients and clinicians with a like-minded group of people. And not to mention the support of experienced designers, engineers, and clinicians to help us along the way.
That's awesome. And so Nash, I want to ask you, how did the pandemic change your team's ability to use design thinking concepts like collaboration, iteration, and prototyping to address different design challenges in healthcare? And were there any actually unexpected benefits to that?
Well, the short answer is it affected everything. To start, collaboration was all virtual. So we're basically on Zoom a lot, like 35 to 40 hours a week for the duration of the program, which is 7 weeks. So we actually as a team decided to do that to simulate a working atmosphere as if we were in person. And in retrospect, you asked about unexpected benefits. I think that was one. I think we were actually more focused and more productive than we would have been in person because there's less distractions going on, and it doesn't hurt that we're quarantined at home and have nothing else to do. But in terms of the design process, the prototyping was the biggest challenge for us because we all had such great ideas, but it wasn't always easy to communicate them through Zoom, and especially for someone like me who's not the greatest artist. So, and coupling that with not having access to prototyping supplies readily added on to that difficulty. So, but I do want to say that the products we came up with at the end are incredible, and I don't think the quality was compromised at all, even with working virtually.
Okay, that's a great answer, but I mean, this must have been really difficult to create a product and really understand the space. Like Catherine, building empathy is an important part of design thinking in the whole process. How did you guys weren't even allowed to go into the healthcare spaces and look at them. How did you guys overcome that? How did you guys understand the problem space and even, meet with people and really get a sense of what you were going to do?
Yeah, this is a really great question because, of course, as you mentioned, throughout our design curriculum at Jefferson, we're always taught that the best medical designing is, of course, shaped around the user's needs. And for this, we had really high hopes that we would be able to shadow our clinical partners. My clinical partners are in the NICU at Abington Health, and we were hoping to be able to see the environment that we are designing our product for ultimately. We were hoping that we'd be able to observe firsthand what the pain points and the challenges were that we're trying to overcome with our product. But as you already mentioned, we were not able to do so, unfortunately, because of COVID. And we were really worried that we would not be able to visualize these pain points without that in-person context, especially given that neither of my teammates is a parent or has experience with babies. However, technology, and more specifically Zoom, was actually a huge and really unexpected gift to us. We were able to get very helpful videos of the environment, which we were readily able to revisit at any given point. And through Zoom, we were able to schedule interviews with NICU moms and dads. And in fact, conducting these interviews online allowed us to schedule way more interviews than we would have been able to do in person. And we had minimal cancellations, which was great. Parents were much more willing to speak with us on short notice and squeeze us into their busy schedules being new parents. They spoke much more freely doing this from the comfort of their homes. And we were able to record our interviews much less awkwardly and intrusively while parents demonstrated their pain points. So this actually ended up being a huge gift for us.
Awesome. That's great. And I don't have much more time, but I want to talk real quick or have somebody speak about the diversity of the team. So the medical industry has been making products for years, right? And they've been doing just fine. Stephanie, what's the benefit of bringing together a multidisciplinary group of experts like we're trying to do with JeffSolves? I mean, does it really make a difference? Are we really doing anything better than what the industry's doing?
Yeah, I think so. So having a multiplicity of backgrounds and specialties was an enormous benefit. And I honestly don't think we would have come up with such a high quality solution to our problem in the time that we had given had we not had such a diverse team. Everyone brought something valuable to the table. We had someone with communications and marketing background, multiple people with research backgrounds, a 3D modeling expert, and more. And that's just talking about the student team alone. On the mentor side, we were able to tap the experiences of professional industrial designers, engineers, patent experts, etc., to bring our process and design to the next level. And our clinical mentors in particular provided invaluable insights to the problem at hand and were able to guide us through some of the more complex aspects of our problem. So all in all, I think everyone's perspectives coalesced in a really beautiful way to create a pretty elegant solution, although I might be a little biased in that take.
That's a great answer. Okay, real quick, Nash, why should people join us on the full event on October 16th?
Well, like I said before, we have such great products, and I'm very excited for the future of these products. And unfortunately, we can't unveil them now, but they're really high quality, and they can actually have a really good impact in the healthcare field. So I really hope you guys all tune in and get to see all our cool products that we got to make.
That's great, guys. Thank you guys so much. I think you guys did a tremendous job this year. I want to reiterate that I think everybody will not be disappointed with the very cool and cutting edge products that these team came up with. I'm so glad that they're doing it and not me, because they are all way smarter than me. I like to just be up here and moderate and to be part of the show. So thank you very much. And sorry, Morgan, that we lost you.
That was some amazing stuff. It really inspired the power and necessity of design to be an owner. This helps solve the problems with the world. We bring so much value solving these problems, whether it be life-saving PPE equipment or creating interiors, environments that help us thrive and learn. Designers can really help solve these problems. But most problems will benefit from our contributions. Let's check in from all of y'all. Our last Design Philly roll call segment of the night. Let's go.
Hello, I'm Rich Davies, Chairman of the Board of the Center for Architecture and Design in Philadelphia. From serving in that role and as counsel to the Philadelphia chapter of the AIA, and as counsel to many of the architectural, engineering, and other design firms in this city, I know the designs of buildings, monuments, and spaces can express who you are and can repress who you are. They can enable and support you, they can disable and suppress you. You can be empowered by this knowledge, and you can design your places and spaces to empower you, or let others seize that power and your places and spaces. That is the lesson we are trying to teach the children of this city through our architecture and design program in Philadelphia's public schools. And as you celebrate Design Philadelphia, I ask that you think of this critical center mission and consider supporting it. Thank you.
Hello, Design Philadelphia. My name is Andrew. I am the designer and co-founder of my startup footwear brand, Andrew Muck. based in Downingtown, PA. The mission with our debut collection of women's shoes is to design a heel that not only accentuates a woman's legs, but also offers improved stability. I've always believed that good design is more often evolutionary rather than revolutionary. And with our Alto high heel, we strive to refine traditional heel design by incorporating sleek arches that elicit elegance and strength, and a stable foundation that is 3 times the width of traditional stilettos for more stability. The challenges of 2020 have drastically changed the way we work, communicate, and socialize. And now more than ever, it is critical that designers collaborate across all disciplines to help create robust products and solutions that can solve multiple problems.
My name is Yuka Yokoyama. I'm the curator of Showroom Modernism exhibition and associate director of exhibitions and programs at the Japan-American Society of Greater Philadelphia. Showroom's architecture, craft details, and garden inspires not only designers and architects, but also people who are affected by a series of unexpected events this year. We hope this exhibition inspires creative mind of future generations to think of our harmonious living between people and nature.
So in order to respond to climate change from a design perspective, we have to design to be more resilient.
We are physically changing and altering the earth when we design, and I think it's our responsibility to do that in the most respectful, intelligent, and positive way possible. So we don't want to just design for today, but we want to design for the future.
My name is Robert Schumann. I'm a member of the full-time faculty with a great group at the Tyler School of Art and Architecture, where I teach design and professional practice courses. I'm also currently serving as the program head of architecture at Tyler. It's wonderful to be able to share my experience of 35 years at MGA Partners and Mitchell-Jovill Architects with the next generation of students. It's really been great being able to do that. But architecture is substantial and consequential, and it's essentially non-virtual. This past year of working in 100% virtual mode with students has been a real challenge and, quite frankly, exhausting. But it's a design problem, and we're facing it that way here at Tyler, and we're working through it. And we certainly are looking forward to a time when we can get back to the physical world and share it with our friends and colleagues.
Greetings from Sarah Rottenberg at the Weitzman School of Design at the University of Pennsylvania. I am the Executive Director of the Integrated Product Design Master's Program and the Founding Director of the Executive Program in Social Innovation Design. And one thing that I wanted to share that I've noticed over the last 6 months is the incredible resilience, adaptability, and creativity of our graduates as they navigate through these uncertain times, and also their incredible commitment to using their design skills to make the world a better place. So if you want to hear more about what our alumni are doing, please come to our panel on their design careers, and otherwise enjoy Design Philadelphia.
Hey everybody, my name is Karen Copeland. I'm the CEO of Create Exchange. So I work at the X. X is where the action is. So I work at the intersection of arts, business, and community. So the intersection is very, very important, of course, to me as designers, because that really is where all the action is. That's where you cannot innovate new stuff if you don't have diversity of thought. So I design interactive virtual learning experiences. So I work with incredible scholars, scientists, business leaders. Oh, I actually have Guy Raz coming up soon because I love him. So I get obsessed with new amazing people. So what I think is in a really exciting time for us right now is because designers are problem solvers. And boy, the world needs us right now more than ever. We're facing a really uncertain future. And it's our time, and the world needs us. So I'm excited about the opportunities for new products, new ways of communicating. Visually, I love the fact that we're creating virtual experiences right now. I have to plug one of the events I have coming for Design Philadelphia. I'm working with an amazing, talented guy that was at IDEO for years, and we're going to be talking about how do we design conversations or redesign conversations, and especially at a time that we're really really need to learn how to communicate with each other. So I want to thank you so much. See you at the kickoff. Bye.
Hi, my name is Mathieu Turpot. I'm one of the partners at Bressler Group. Bressler Group is an innovation consultancy based out of Philadelphia. My role is to oversee research, design, and strategy-oriented projects at Bressler Group. If there's one thing that's been very notable throughout 2020 and during the pandemic is that it really makes a difference when you take a step to really pause and look at all and envision all your possible futures. And the companies that have done that basically are now striving and doing really well. The design community has strived over the past few years to really establish design as a key organizational element, really at a strategic level. And design is no longer the department that you send your designs to be beautified anymore. And that's something to really be very proud of. But if there's one thing that I'm hopeful for moving forward into the future is that what happened in 2020 is really going to make it really obvious and critical for companies to really build strategic thinking and envisioning the future as part of their product strategies. That's my hope.
Hi, this is Tom Normile of Keystone Hood Structural Engineers and board member of the Center for Architecture and Design. I'm really sorry I'm not going to see you in person this year, but I'm really looking forward to the creativity that I'm sure will shine through in this year's Design Philadelphia nonetheless. And looking forward to seeing you all next year. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Natalie Nixon. I am the president of Figure 8 Thinking, and I'm the author of The Creativity Leap. And right now, living through COVID-19 quarantine, the opportunity, the silver lining is for us to redesign our relationship with time and to figure out new rituals in our personal lives and in our working lives. We are going through major systemic challenges, and systemic challenges need systemic change, and designers are uniquely equipped to navigate systems change because designers get to shape the ways that we navigate and move through this world. So whether it's about user experience design, fashion design, service design, architecture, graphic design, fashion design, we need designers more than ever to innovate and to figure out ways to move through and find opportunities through this turbulent time.
All right, folks, our time together is almost over. But before we go, we're going to leave you with some positivity and hope. It's all about the kids, right? The future of the kids in our city matters to all of us. And all of us have something to give, to receive from them. Next, we're going to share a bit about the future of design education in the city of Philadelphia and how you can get involved. First, we have Rebecca Johnson share a brief interview with Andrew Phillips, AIA, the chair of design school at String Theory Charter School. And then we'll leave a brief message from the architects who organize and volunteer for the Center for the Architect and Design Education Program.
Good evening, everyone. It's Rebecca Johnson again. I'm here as the Executive Director of the Center for Architecture and Design in AI Philadelphia to talk to a very special person here in Philadelphia, Andrew Phillips, who I will let introduce yourself. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Doing well, Rebecca. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a Design Philly kickoff party, so my favorite evening of the year.
Even if it's virtual.
Even if it's virtual, exactly. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure,
Let everybody know who you are.
Sure. For those of you who don't know me or I don't know you, My name is Andrew Phillips. I am the new chair of the School of Design for String Theory Schools, which is a small charter network here in Philadelphia. It's about 3,500 students across 4 different sites. Previously, I was the chair of the design faculty at the Charter High School for Architecture and Design, which many of you probably know was closed this past June. So upon its closure, rest in peace, I have found a new home here at String.
Awesome. And you're a licensed architect, correct?
That is correct. I went to Penn State, came to Philadelphia, worked for a few different architects, Leslie Way among them, for a number of years, did my licensing exams, went to grad school, went to Harvard for grad school, and when I returned from grad school in the mid-90s, I started my firm, and I started teaching at the same time at the University of Pennsylvania.
Great. So how did you end up in K through 12, particularly high school education?
It's not a journey anyone would have planned. So I was teaching, as I mentioned, I taught at Penn. I taught there for about 15 years, 10 years in the graduate program, 5 years in the undergraduate program. After that lengthy time, I felt like it was time to do something different and new. And through a kind of an unexpected series of events, I was offered a position as a long-term substitute for 1 semester at CHAD, which I decided to do, and that was 12 years ago.
12 years ago, wow. We've talked about this a lot. The future of design education is really important to the AIA, to the center. We believe every student in Philadelphia should eventually have access to design education, but why is it so important to you? And also, why is it so important here in Philadelphia?
So, when I started at CHAD, I probably pretty naively thought I was going to be teaching architecture, which I was, but I sort of saw it as simply that. What I learned pretty quickly was there was a whole lot more behind the curriculum that was just as important, if not more important. One of the mantras I routinely say to my students is think with your hands. Make stuff, do stuff, just think with your hands. And trust your instincts, trust your intuitions. A lot of times what happens at CHAD, I discovered, was a lot of students are very convinced of what they can't do. And they have to test scores to back them up. I'm not very good at math. I'm not very good at English or literacy. And so they'll kind of live into that message, which has been in many ways applied to them through standardized testing. And then they show up and we start talking about design and we start doing things and they'll be like, yo, Mr. Phil, I don't know how to do this. I've never done this before. And I'll be like, yeah, isn't that awesome? It's a clean slate. There's no baggage. Let's go. So you kind of you can't just tell me what you can't do because you've never done it. So what I discovered is that design, we all have a form of design literacy within us. We are all design literate. How formally trained that is or not is a different matter. But we all engage the world, therefore we all understand the world through design. And through that fundamental literacy, the students do make things and they better understand their world. And so what I realized is that learning design and entering design fields became a sort of a social escalator. Like it actually gave them access and it increased the chances of equity for them in the world through college programs. And they would have a portfolio which allowed them to get into schools and they would get scholarships because they'd have these awesome portfolios. So it really became a whole different, it was a game changer. Like that's what I didn't know I was getting into.
That's really exciting. And I think, I love how you talk about kind of what the kids need and how, sort of design and creativity, I think, complements where they're at when they come to you. Can you talk a little bit about why you're excited about string theory and how it's going to be different than CHAD? Then also I want everybody who's watching to learn about, maybe not immediately, but how we can capture the incredible design community that we have here. So it's not just about architects, right? I mean, CHAD had product design and fashion design. And so talk a little bit about string theory and also kind of how folks can support and help.
So as I mentioned, string is, so CHAD was about 600-ish students. Right. Spring is about 3,500 students total. It's K through 12 as opposed to 9 through 12, which is what Chad was. And that's really important. So what we had, and they had originally 2 different schools, and by schools I mean curriculums, not brick and mortar. So there was a school of performing arts, which is how they started, the Philadelphia Performing Arts Charter School. That's technically actually the school that I'm operating within. And then there's they have a School of Science and Technology. So they have a performing arts program and a STEM program. Just in the past 2 years or so, they restructured things a bit to create the School of Design, which is what I now chair. And so it's been around for a little while. There's 6 other faculty, and we're building. We're going to build this and grow this out. We have an ambitious program ahead. Fortunately, in a weird sort of way, the pandemic allows me to kind of settle in and figure out the lay of the land before we start to really ramp up, at which point I could use all the help that's available from the design community. A lot of our students are coming from all over the city. They're deeply invested in their communities. And it's a chance for them to, in a way, work with their communities and give back to their communities through design and through the making, through the construction trades. It's all relevant to what we're doing.
That's great. I want to thank you, Andrew, for the many, many years that you've dedicated to the kids in Philadelphia and getting them excited about design and making, like you said, making a lot of them more comfortable and confident in themselves that they can do things. It's really inspiring. And to all of you watching tonight, please keep in touch with us through Design Philly and through the Center for Architecture. And we're going to be working with Andrew to develop support and how to connect all of you with the kids in Philadelphia who are at String and possibly other places and clubs and activities. We're really excited. I think 2020 has been a year that has shown us so many challenges, right? And this is something that we all can kind of give back and feel good. You inherently, all of you, have a lot of value to offer kids, and they have a lot to teach you as well. So I really encourage anyone who's interested to reach out. We have a How to Volunteer on the Center for Architecture's website, philadelphiacfa.org, and we can connect you with volunteer opportunities. So thank you again, Andrew, and I look forward to seeing you in person sometime.
One of these days.
And come over to String and check out the facilities. So
yeah, please.
Congrats on your transition, and I'm really excited for you and for the school.
Me too. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Klaas. I'm a board member at the Center for Architecture and Design and committee member for the Architecture in Education program. I joined the program because I truly believe that using the design process, we can create better communities here in Philadelphia. And this program offered that opportunity to our schools and our communities here. If you're a person that is passionate about design and education, I encourage you to join us and learn more about us.
Hey Philly, I'm Michael Spain, an architectural designer and educator. And on behalf of the Center for Architecture and Design, I'd like to encourage you to support a very important program that is near and dear to me, the Architecture and Education program. This program connects with K-12 students throughout the Philadelphia area and teaches them about the process of design and the importance that designers play in shaping our communities, paying particular attention to the design of the built environment. It's such a thrill for me to see the energy, imagination, and how these students are inspired when realizing that their ideas and creativity have the potential to make an impact on the spaces and places they live. We think that it's extremely important that students have access to this type of education. Not only might it create a pipeline to design careers, creating an expanded community of diverse designers that could benefit our professions, but students can also learn how to use design as a way to become better citizens by engaging their communities in this way. We hope that you also found great value in this program and would consider supporting us through your donations. And just as importantly for you designers, to volunteer your time and talents in educating our youth about design and the important role it plays in our society.
Hi, I'm Denise Thompson, and I'm a member of the Architecture and Education Committee. We have been working hard to reinvigorate a group that has been around since the 1980s. I first remember getting involved over 20 years ago as a Temple University student. It was there that I went into my first North Philadelphia classroom and taught students about design. Those students cemented my commitment to the next generation. They made me realize how important it is to teach students about design and how they can impact their communities around them. I invite you to join me in this effort, either through donating or volunteering your time. Thank you.
All right, guys, we did it. We have had our first successful Design Philadelphia kickoff party. It has been my pleasure to host with you guys this evening, and I hope you had an amazing time. I hope you learned a ton of great stuff as well. It's going to be a great Design Philadelphia festival over the next 11 days, so please enjoy. That's it for me now. I'm now taking it back to Rebecca Johnson, our host, one of our hosts, to give you guys a special toast. Thank you guys for joining us.
Like that was really great program.
That was great.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who participated in the night.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that. That was really fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So we just want to close out the night thanking our sponsors, thanking our event partners, all the staff, to all the people that didn't have the guts to get up here with me and Jermaine, Liz and Tiffany and Joe and Lois and Julie and Justin and Mason.
Cheers to our team.
To our team, thank you so much. I want to make a toast to the rest of 2020. May it be positive and hopeful and peaceful and nothing else bad happen.
And here's to a really fulfilling, I think, also just like full 2021. Going to the new year, I think it's going to be really important for us to keep up our spirits and just kind of make sure that we're maintaining our mental health and checking in on that and checking in on each other and still keeping community a part of everything that we do. And we'll see you all back at Cherry Street Pier next October. Thank you again.
Cheers, everybody. Bye. Good night.